What's one reason I like to keep guppies? It's because they're like little water puppies, I swear. So guppies are always swimming around, they're always happy, and like if you come into the room, they'll come to the top thinking you're gonna feed them. You know, just like a dog is always wanting food. You know, you ever try to eat dinner and the dog's not right there? So guppies are basically the same exact way, like except when you walk in the room, you're like associated with food usually. I think we can all agree that like the #1 draw to guppies is how colorful they are. They pretty much come in all different kinds of colors. They come in all kinds of different designs, you know, like you got the tuxedo guppies that are like all black and then solid colored fins. You got the snake skin guppies that look awesome on their bodies, and you got the mosaic guppies. If you haven't yet, if you haven't seen all these, look them up, but I plan to do a video on types of guppies eventually. I don't know if it's on my first to-do list, but anyways, I'm getting off track. The next draw to guppies for me is how they're always swimming around. They're always, you know, curious about the whole part of the tank or whatever, you know. I love seeing the active swimming. The downside to it is it's kind of hard to get like good close-up video. I mean, it's not, because they do stop too, but you know, they are always moving, which is fun to watch for me. If you guys are wondering, I'm in a hotel room and I'm using the window as light for these videos. I actually kind of like it because like it's easy. I'm just sitting on the couch. Like here, I'll show you. I'm just sitting on the couch using the window as light. It's pretty, hang on. It's pretty fun to make videos this way. It's super chill. You know, I don't have to worry about setting up lights and whatever. But anyways, as I was saying about guppies, right? They're pretty much always swimming around mindlessly. I wouldn't necessarily say mindlessly because they do have a personality. You know, they do get scared of other fish. Like I was reading an article where like, I can't remember, but it was online, and you know, these scientists or college students or whatever, they put a cichlid in with their guppies, and they tested it to see if they would get scared, and like how each guppy got scared in a different way and did different things for defense. And then they put like a bird like over the top too. I think the bird's beak was in the water. I can't remember. I wish I could remember what I was reading, but basically they do swim around a lot, but not necessarily mindlessly. But like, so I'm a cichlid guy, so let me just kind of explain the difference in personality in my opinion, and I could be wrong. So for me, cichlids or guppies are like super inquisitive. They're always looking around, exploring, whatever, chomping on algae, whatever it is. For me, cichlids, and the thing I really like with cichlids is they always seem to have a purpose. You know, they're building a sand pit to lay their eggs, or they're guarding a certain area to defend their fry. They do things with a purpose, in my opinion. That's the difference between cichlids, and that's why I love cichlids. But guppies are like, they're just super inquisitive, and they want to go around and touch everything, kind of more like a little kid who, you know, puts everything in their mouth. The personality differences are definitely, you know, prey behavior like for a guppy, and like predator behavior for a cichlid. Completely different types of personalities, both equally awesome to watch. Well, maybe cichlids are better. If you're wondering why I'm making all these videos with guppies, I'm getting close to moving into my house, and honestly, I expected it to take a longer time, but I had all these guppy ideas for my fish tank, my guppy tank, and I want to get them all out before I start making my cichlid videos again. So if you're like anxiously waiting for cichlid videos, once I get into my house and get my tank set up and cycled, then you can expect to see that. So until then, I'm going to be knocking out some guppy videos, and you know, I had a bunch of ideas, so I want to get them all out. So let's talk about some abnormal guppy behavior, like why is my guppy twitching, or why is my guppy hiding at the bottom? You know, like for the twitching, right? If your guppy is doing the weird twitch thing, chances are it could have like parasites, and the parasites could be in their gills. You also might notice that they're rubbing against rocks or sand or something. That could be a sign of that too. So what I would recommend is getting a medication that can basically medicate those parasites. Things that I like to use is either a medicated fish food like a New Life Spectrum Hex Shield, or like something like General Cure or Metroplex from Seachem, API General Cure, that is. They all medicate internal parasites. The other thing is like, why is my guppy hiding at the bottom? If it's a female guppy, chances are it could be about to give birth, and it's like trying to find a little peaceful area to where it can go through giving birth to like 25 to 30 guppies, you know, even more than that. So if that was happening to you, chances are you would probably want a little private place to go through that pain and whatnot. If your guppy is like swimming weird, or like floating upside down or something like that, or maybe it's like super swollen and maybe has like a pine cone look to it from its scales, it could have like dropsy, or I think that's a nickname. But basically what it is it's like kidney failure, or you know, your guppy's not able to pass the waste, pass its urine or poop, and it's getting clogged into the guppy's kidneys, and then you know, they're not able to pass all of that fluid, so it gets swollen, and you know, they bloat up like a balloon. That thing, so it could be caused by a couple different things, but it's pretty much irreversible, and your guppy is probably gonna die. So one, it could be genetics, so unavoidable if your guppy has bad genetics, which that is more common in, you know, nowadays, because the way guppies are being produced, you know, mass produced in farms, or maybe super inbred with some of the fancier types of guppies. The other thing is like, when it comes to it could be a bacterial infection, and by this point it's already done its damage to the kidneys, and you can't do anything about it. If you guys ever had guppies that had dropsy or something, let me know in the comments. How'd you deal with it? Did they recover? In my experience, they don't necessarily recover. Now, I have had an experience, and I actually didn't show this with my firemouth cichlids. I don't even know if I've mentioned this actually, but during the winter one time, my firemouth cichlids, they all bloated up like a balloon, and I was like freaking out. I was like, why are they doing this? And well, I ended up, because my first reaction is like, oh, I need to change the water, there could be something wrong. So what I do is I immediately do a water change. The second I put my hand into that water, it was freezing cold. I knew that was the problem. Basically, temperature. If the temperature is too cold, then the fish can have trouble passing their waste and become constipated, and they'll bloat up, you know. Luckily for me, I got a good heater. My heater had ended up breaking, and I got a new heater on that tank, and I think I went like 3 weeks without making a video with my firemouth cichlids, and that was why, because I was like, are my fish gonna die? I didn't feel like making videos about it. So I'd rather tell you guys about it now that it's over than go through the pain of doing it while it's happening. Because, you know, as a fish keeper, you're like, what's wrong with my guppy? Or my fish? How do I fix this? And blah, 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 you know. So That's kind of how I dealt with it. But yeah. So basically I got the new heater and the fish ended up, you know, deflating or whatever have you, and they ended up being healthy from that point on, and they even went on to breed. So I don't know if I did like some permanent damage to those fish, you know, maybe shorten their lifespan somehow, but hopefully not. So another thing to go along with the guppies bloating up, or you know, maybe have dropsy, kidney failure, or something, you suspect there's something wrong, right? One, I always medicate my fish first thing when I get them, so that they are extremely less likely to get parasites, to get like, you know, infections of some sort. So I recommend doing that. It's called quarantining your fish. Do that first thing when you get them. The other thing is, if you are seeing a problem, change your water source. So maybe you're using tap water, maybe use RO water or something different, you know, get your water from somewhere else. You know, maybe you're on well water or something. All I'm saying is there could be something contaminating your water that is not in your control, maybe with like the water treatment plant or something like that. The second thing I would recommend, and this is like if you can't get a different water source, is to put activated carbon in your filter in your aquarium, so that the activated carbon takes out trace elements within the water. So that can help remove anything harmful if that is happening, and give your guppy a fighting chance. The next thing as far as guppy personality I want to talk about is males and female ratios. So like guppies are always trying to breed, right? If you have like 3 males and 1 female, they're gonna bother that guppy to the point where it could end up jumping out, it could get stressed, and then it could start having problems. So honestly, that's kind of what I think happened with my guppy dying. I have all males in my aquarium, and it's so they don't breed and reproduce more, because I didn't want to deal with that. But I think, you know, having the new male in that fish tank, I think they just ganged up on him, and maybe he got stressed out and jumped out. So anyway, that's guppy fish personalities, my take. On this channel, guys, I do a lot of fish videos, I do a lot of product reviews for aquariums. So if that's something you're interested in, subscribe, ring the bell, and if you like this video, hit like for me, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Toodaloo.